Bryce, I think that's your side.
Recording now. Do you want that podcast taken down?
No. I'm saying it's good. I'm just saying that in the future, let's consider like taking the best bits from it.
Alright.
So, Bryce, are you able to update us for the verified team, or should I leave that over to the next, over for people to update later on rather than during this meeting? Hello, Bryce? We are currently not hearing you.
Bryce appears to be muted, whether or not it's done by them or somebody else. Let me see if they've got mute on.
Oh, never mind, their mic is being a wiener.
Ah. Why enter? Uh,
Okay, if that's the case, we'll also put that on hold. With regards to the moderators and admins then, what have you guys been doing? Andy? Prof?
uh, most of what I've been doing is fixing problems with the bots and either approving or denying changes that Stefan wants made to the server. Also, I assisted Stefan earlier today with making some aesthetic changes to the server, the Discord server.
Got it. Anything to update? Andy? Belwin? You're both here.
Stefan pointed out that pending could see the entire server, but not type or read anything. That's been fixed.
Perfect. Thank you very much for that small bit of update. Belwin, any updates of your own so far? Excellent. Thank you very much. I also suspect then that that is the update for the counselor, so I'll just checkmark that off as well. Finally, over to the events staff. Andy, have there been any events that have been ongoing so far in the past week?
In the past week, I don't really think so. The last event that I remember was the enemy territory thing that we had. There's only a few of us because time zones and some people didn't have internet. Hoodie's starting it up again. Hopefully more people join. I need to promote it more though.
I agree. There needs to be a general base of people that regularly go to the events, I believe, before it can really start train rolling to more people being added on.
Yeah.
And I believe that covers everyone in our team update. Next up, Friday slip-ups. You know, just as a startup to get everyone shaken up a little bit, every single person over currently in this voice chat, please tell me one thing that you fucked up this week. Let's start with you off. Okay, who wants to start off?
Sleeping for maybe 2 hours, several days in a row.
That sounds like quite the fuck up. I would recommend that you please sleep a little bit more.
All right.
Who wants to... My gosh. Who wants to go next?
Okay, I've made the biggest fuck up in the world. I got my sleep schedule back on track, and that means I have to do chores throughout the day.
Ooh. Okay, so maybe you have the opposite problem of acronym. Try messing up your sleep schedule in the future.
Yeah, I miss the days of watching anime from 10 to 5 in the morning.
Andy, would you like to try an update on something you fucked up this week?
I don't know what a sleep schedule is anymore.
Is that a constant problem, or is it just something that happened this week?
I mean, I wake up at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, and I sleep at like 7 a.m.
You might want to fix that as well. There's a lot of sleep schedule problems with all of you three, just saying.
Well, we're all
This is a
weeds.
consistent-
We're known for that.
Okay, that is a good point. Belwin, Bryce, either of you two? Something that you fucked up this week. How about you, Jen? And I'm sorry, Bryce, but your microphone is also currently not working. Don't be shy. It can be something related over to sleep again.
If you did not fuck anything up, then you're getting banned from the Discord server.
We're not allowed to have any liars here.
No
So
Mary
if you
Sue's
need-
either.
You can't go like, oh, I worked so hard that I just couldn't. I'm so tired.
I was too good of a person. I made everyone feel bad.
No, not in that sense, Jin. No worries, you're fine. I'm talking about like I fed 10 puppies today, and that's why I couldn't go to the bus to work. Such a fuck up.
Okay, so what he's saying he fucked up in is time management.
Again, time management. Good lesson to learn, Belwyn. Good lesson to learn, especially from anybody who does want to help anybody else. I'd also like to keep in mind, guys, that this is the first time that we finally had someone fuck up on something other than time and sleep schedules. I'd like to congratulate Belwyn personally.
Good job, Belwyn. You're an innovator of fuck-ups.
Good job, Bryce. Good job. Testicle.rpy. That's definitely something we can definitely... How could you... Well, that's something to learn from, Bryce, in terms of naming things. Always put an underscore whenever there's a space between any two words within an RPY. That way, we don't have to talk about testicles. And I believe that also generally covers the Friday slip-up. Now, in terms of the queried topics, I don't want to be heading each of these meetings every single time, so it might be prudent to try and create a rotation of heads. But first of all, let's try and talk about whether or not we want a rotation. Do you want me to just keep talking every single time that there's a meeting and then just someone will randomly be the leader head? Or would you recommend that instead there be like a system of rotation for people to become heads of the meeting?
How about whoever wants to be, and if not, then we all gang up and make someone be the leader for the day.
What, someone just draw straws?
Yeah, if no one wants to do it, then someone ends up being the sacrificial lamb.
No.
Sure.
I mean, there's no reason to be too bureaucratic.
Got it. That means Andy's going to be the next leader.
Wait, what?
Got it. I'll just keep that in mind for the next one. Are there any other ideas or objections to the idea?
Nah, not me.
Keep a list of all that want to lead, and the person who is running the meeting chooses the next one. So, Andy.
Popcorn. I popcorn Andy.
Fuck.
But yes, in seriousness, I do think Balvin's idea will work better, where we create a list, and then the team leader of the previous meeting gets to decide who's the next team leader of the next meeting from that list. As a serious suggestion, are there any objections to Belwyn's proposal?
Oh, I was totally serious.
Hey, Andy. Just as a gag for the next meeting, you're going to automatically be the leader. That's going to end, and we're going to use Belwyn's system afterwards, but just for now. Just for the next meeting, okay? Good, glad we agree.
That sounds fun.
I believe we've covered that topic then. Next, are we generally agreed? I just want to make sure.
Yeah, we're
before we
cool,
move
man.
on, because I allocated 10 minutes to this for like a long debate, and then we just finished it in what, 2 minutes?
Well, that's because no one had any strong opinions.
Good point.
We could have 8 minutes of silence.
Press F to pay respects.
Oof. Yeah, that's a good point. I guess we move on forward then. Press F indeed. Next up, I want to talk about the rule set. The rule set that's currently in place and whether or not we want to change it right now in this call or to establish a team that does that separately and then comes back with their results of what would be the best rules. What are your guys' thoughts on this? Because as of currently, and I think GT has made a good comment of that over in the server suggestions, the rules are a clusterfuck of TOS. And I think that should be changed as well. Any thoughts on this?
I'm done with changing the rules as long as we think of a good alternative first.
Yeah.
If that's the case, do you want to talk about it here in this VC for the next 10 minutes? Or do you want to create a team that does that and then reports back their results?
Okay, I got a suggestion. First, we talk about what changes we want made right now, right here, and going forward, we have a system where the community can propose, like, a vote for a change in the rules, and then everyone in the server votes on the change in the rules. And the administration has the ability to say absolutely not, but otherwise we leave it up to the community.
So more of a community-built rule set.
Yeah, totally, because like these rules are they're the ones most impacted by the rules, so they should have a strong say in what's going on.
Do we take that as a suggestion? Or...
That's my suggestion. What do you all think?
I was actually going to make some sort of a suggestion like that, a community rule set. We could talk about things here and brainstorm, but then kind of go to the community and see what people think.
If that's the case, in terms of making up the rule set of what people think, how should we get them? Yeah, to ensure that the rules don't get out, and otherwise we're going to have, like, every week, everyone just does, like, potluck Fridays, and then they just show up to a VC with video and just show up with a plate of mashed potatoes, and then eat them on stream. That could legitimately be something just to troll the rules.
I don't understand what you're saying.
What I'm saying is that some of the rules might not be serious per se, or wise per se. So possibly we could have, now not just your system.
Stupid, idiotic rules aren't going to win a vote, you know? Do you think they would?
Not necessarily. I'm just trying to cover every possible base of an idea. So let's take your general idea of the community can submit rules. Does that mean then that the server staff are able to vote on those rules, or is it that the community votes on those rules?
The server staff will determine whether or not to put it up for a vote. If the server staff is okay with a suggestion, then they'll put it up to the community, and then the community will have like a minimum number of votes that they need to hit, and they also have to have majority of the votes be positive. So like, if only 2 people vote and they both voted yes, then we're not going to make a rule reality. But if 100 people voted and 70 of them voted yes and 20 voted no and 10 voted neutral, then we'll make that a rule.
Okay.
If people don't care enough about something to vote for it, then we're not going to make it a rule.
Got it. So in that case then, just to summarize the system, oh, I'm sorry, Jin, go ahead.
Oh, no, I didn't say anything. That was just me sitting down. I had to come back. I was using my phone for the minute, and it's very, very echoey, so I had to come back with my PC.
Got it. So in that case, just as a summary of the ideas that we currently have mixing around, have the community put up some ideas, say through a Google form where they can just submit ideas for possible rules.
You remember
the staff can... Huh?
You remember the suggestion channel in the old Discord?
Yes. You want to do it like that?
Well, that was my suggestion. What do you think? Sound like a bad idea?
I was thinking to put them up to a vote in that way of the server suggestions of doing a positive and negative after people submit them through us. So I'm thinking Google form through us, and then we take those rules and those rules that we approve, we spit them back out over onto a voting channel. What are your thoughts on that? Or do you think that's too much of a complex wishy-washy?
I have an alternative. So we do it the same way as the old Discord channel suggestion room. However, what's going on is the people are voting for a rule as we decide whether or not we're okay with it. And if at any point we decide that no, the idea is a terrible rule, then even though voting has already started on it, we can just decline it as refused by the administration. But if we're okay with it, then we wait to see what the votes are.
I have an issue with that because if it's like telling a child it's got pudding, but it can only have it if you eat the meat, and then you decide it can't have it in the end. If you're going to allow it to be an option, you should have to be okay with it in the beginning.
Well, we'll be very clear that all rules have to be approved by the administration, even if everybody likes it.
Not even that. I think the general fear that Jin is bringing up is that, let's say that a lot of people like this stupid rule just because it's either funny or they believe it's going to be good, but after some experience in the end, we think, no, that's going to be terrible. And then we disapprove that. We have to also think about the backlash against that possible rule, especially after people then vote, hey, I do like it.
Okay.
Do we then go with my proposal of Google Form over into a suggestions area?
Well, what you're proposing, I'm not saying that that idea is bad. All I'm saying is that the more expectation you put on somebody to manage a thing like that, the more opportunities there are for somebody to fall short of their responsibilities.
I like the server suggestions channel in here because it gives us a little bit of insight of what people want, and then we can take it over, and if it looks like a good rule, then we can form it into one.
Okay, I have an idea to reconcile these. We have a channel where nobody can read the message history of it except for the people who review the suggestions. And people can... It'll look to them like they're dropping their suggestions into a void, but we're reviewing them, and any of them that we're okay with, we will put into a public voting chamber. And people aren't able to comment in there, but they are able to use reply with emoticons.
Interesting. I think this is a nice like hybrid.
Yeah.
What are your guys' thoughts? Oh, sorry, Acronym, go ahead.
I think that's a really nice idea, actually. I like it.
Are there any objections over to like a void suggestion box, then feeding over into, after we've approved them, into a public voting channel? Are there any objections to that? None?
Nope.
Provide an SLA so people know that we will review it in X days. What do you mean by that, Belwin? We're coming short on time, so we better have a small vote. Gives people confidence that we are paying attention, so we'll have it ready and done to review within, like, 1 week or something like that. Is that what you're proposing, Belwin? Okay, I think that's fair. Would you say 1 week's also a good time limit to use? We can change it later. At the very least, I just want something done and ready over for the record. If that's the case, I guess we can move on to the next topic. Perfect. Now, in terms of modifying and updating the channels, that's basically already been done. Do you think we need to have a dedicated team to change channels, or do you think we could just mow down through this as we go along?
I think changing the channels should be part of the responsibility of the mods and admins combined. I don't think there should be a special team for that. I think that maintaining the server and its functions is part of the job description.
General server maintenance is really just one of our few job listings besides enforcing the rules as moderators. So, like, I think that should really just be up to us instead of just assigning special people to do it.
If that's the case, then should we have this call to talk about any of our own thoughts on where channels should go, maybe for like 5 minutes to just talk about where we want channels to go, and then afterwards we continue on our way with having channel removal and modification just be part of the regular job of moderators and admins. So talk about it right now, do stuff later on after this call.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
So given that, we still have a fuck ton of channels. Should we take a few of those away?
Why is rules not in info hub? Jesus, I can't talk.
Rules is currently an info hub because if you want info, you go there. Rules is part of the info, so you go to the info hub to learn the rules.
No. I'm seeing a rules, but it's like spelled terribly up at the top, and it's just not in a category at all.
Yeah.
Probably a legacy one.
I think Stefan was talking to Dio about that in the staff chat earlier today. I saw it, thought it was stupid, but didn't say anything, because whatever. Doesn't matter.
If I remember from what Steven was trying to say, it's a trial section of rules to address the whole TOS problem. Like, our current rule set looks like a terms of service list that you have to check off from an Apple store. So Steven was proposing, hey, let me come up with some base rules that don't look like terms of service, and then we can discuss the rules with a Z in order to make that the rules with an S, actual official rules.
Can everybody see that?
No, not at the moment, and maybe we should change that.
Okay, well, let's wait until we've approved it, because right now it looks pretty stupid.
Okay. And with regards to your comment, Belvin, I do believe that we should update staff as well. It's been a long while since I've updated that as well. Okay. Are there any channels that we see as extraneous as well? Channels that seem like there's just too many, or we're lacking channels, we need some more. Or
Okay.
we can combine channels together.
I'm gonna start from the top and just move down, and I'll let you know if I see anything. Also, I think we should put the channels that people are going to be using super frequently up at the top, and the channels that people are less likely to use, put those further to the bottom.
Might be a good idea. Acronym, Jin, I saw that both of your microphones were twitching. Do you also have thoughts on this?
Oh no, that was me coming back because I accidentally clicked on a voice channel going through.
Got it. So yeah, I agree with your idea. Oh, Acronym?
I'm here. I'm just conversing with Steven as he's sitting right here.
Oh, you two live together?
Well, he works with me.
Oh, okay.
You're in a call at work, my gosh. Acronym. You got... Stay on the schedule, you have fires to deal with.
Yeah, I'm dealing with printers though.
Never
Printer
mind.
fires. Very dangerous.
Yeah.
Do you have anything to comment on the subject of the removal or addition of channels? Just to talk about it. Like, do you believe some channels are extraneous?
I think there's a lot of kind of clutter, if that's what you mean. There's
Just Yuri General and Off Topic. And Off Topic Classic. What the heck?
Off-topic classic. We should
Off
just
Topic
merge-
Classic. And even Stefan was talking about it earlier. Hey, let's delete this channel, and the only reason it didn't happen is because the vote was tied 6-6, and now it's 7-6. I mean, it's a pretty stupid channel. It doesn't serve any function. And then we've got Just Yuri General and Off Topic. Now, are those two the same thing? This is Just Yuri Central, which means that this is...
I'm seeing just Yuri news and enemy territories. Wouldn't that be moved back up in server event chat?
Yeah, that should.
Okay.
So I guess we got a lot of clutter to clean up.
Yeah, here's my suggestion. Let's make a checklist of the standards that a channel has to meet in order to be kept. Among these standards will be things like people have to be talking in here. often enough to justify its continued existence. Second, this channel has to serve a function that's not being served by some other channel. Those are two good rules, at least. You can probably add some more rules to that checklist, and then go through each channel and compare it to that checklist, and if it doesn't match up to the rules, then just archive or delete the channel.
Got it.
Once we've reduced the number of channels, we can organize it in a way that's more streamlined to improve the experience of our members.
Agreed. So the idea is just to prune channels based off of need, and let's make a checklist for that. Yeah, use it or lose it.
Yeah.
If that's the case, then do we have that as something we all agree with, or do we have objections? No objections?
That works.
We move on. This next one is a contentious one, especially in light of my change in general operation. Developing a system to note participation and to indict a lack of participation, or to make a participation team that basically tries to look for, hey, how can we judge how much a person is participating?
How do you mean participating?
You see, this is in light of in the old Just Yuri when there were admins that basically did nothing at all. They didn't really overview any of the moderators. They mostly just chatted. They didn't bring up any topics. They didn't add any events. They sat there. I want to avoid that. How would you propose that we avoid that? And alongside that, trying to balance that out with the fact that all of us are volunteers. Because we're not going to have this like a 9-to-5 job where I'm going to be at this time to this time. This is very much just a volunteer work that all of us are doing. And to impose too many restrictions on that would just turn away some good people. What systems would we propose to try and balance those two interests?
Okay, I have something that I want to say we shouldn't do. We should not judge an admin or moderator based off of how much they talk, because I don't think that that's talking and being social is necessary to the job. I mean, we definitely need moderators that are watching what people are saying, certainly, but like being more inclined to just not speak unless you have something important to say, I don't think that should be something that precludes you from being in a position to help the community.
True.
If that's the case, should we have a standard by which we should try and find and indict staff that are not participating or doing their job, essentially? And if so, what will that system consist of?
I think the biggest problem that you're running into is what the difference between participating and doing the job is. Because a lot of the moderators, and it seems like a lot of them...
Your mic, do you know that your mic is a little fuzzy?
Oh. You know what?
It sounds better now.
I love a St. Peter. All right. I guess the biggest thing is, what do you think is more important, participating or doing the actual jobs as required? I mean, and that's not an indictment. I mean, I can see where you want participation, because if the staff isn't talking, then the server starts getting a little bit dead.
But alongside that, there are those that actively try and work and help, but are just very awkward and don't talk a lot, but they still do good work. How do we balance that? There is the idea of acronyms to do a weekly statement, as I can read over in the channel. The problem that I see with the general weekly statement, though, back when I did it, is that it runs back over to the volunteer work idea. In fact, we had this whole, or at least I had this whole discussion with another dev over on the subject of weekly meetings. and how they were doing this as more of a volunteer work, and so were annoyed by the fact that they were pinged every week on, hey, what have you been doing? Hey, what have you been doing? Hey, what have you been doing? Is that a problem that we should perceive as a problem, or more as just a part of the job?
I think communication is part of the job. Like, I'm a pretty lenient guy with the people working underneath me. I recognize that this isn't something that there is their job, but if you're going to take on responsibility, then you have to accept the fact that because you hold responsibility, you have to communicate with other people regularly. So if you don't want to be communicating with other people about things related to your task, then you shouldn't be taking the job.
Does that mean that a weekly statement is the way to go, or is there another system that we should try?
Okay, now an addendum to what I've just said. While you should expect to have to communicate regularly, I don't mean that you should have to communicate like on a clock. You should talk, maybe not weekly, maybe you talk like monthly, and even then not like on a strict deadline. You know what I mean?
So just the fact that we see them doing something every month is a minimal standard.
Yeah. I mean, that's just a rough idea. It could do with some polish, so if anyone has any suggestions, please say something. I guess not.
I did, I think, like I was suggesting in the text chat, that maybe specifically the core group of individuals would be not necessarily required, but something at least once a week, just to say that we still are on the project or available to work on it, and if not, then
Oh,
we
wait.
should notify.
I'm sorry. Were we referring to developers or administration?
I'd put it over towards administration, but I'd also apply it over to developers as well. Everything that happens here in terms of administration is almost equally as applicable over to development, so you can treat one with the other.
Okay, because I think of them in like very different terms. I think of administration as not nearly as big of a commitment as developer.
Admins can be anybody, but devs can't, because you kind of have to know what you're doing as a dev, or you don't do it.
Yeah, because like a single action of an administrator isn't going to have as long-lasting of an impact as a single brush stroke of Shadmam.
But yeah, that Shadman picks, spicy.
Like
I mean,
that was just an analogy. That you get what I mean.
Yes, especially that they're going to go back to the NSFW art section once they're done over with the sleepy time.
Man, you could have used anybody else, but you had to choose Shad, man.
Let's see, very basic update. So, Belvin is still advocating for the weekly update. Prof proposed the monthly update.
Well, monthly
so
update and Sorry, never mind. Carry on.
No, go ahead. I was just stopping because that was all I needed to say.
Monthly update was more in reference to administration. Like, a dev should be communicating more frequently than an administrator or moderator of the community server. Because with a developer, every week that you're not doing anything is actually time wasted that we could have had someone else doing your job. That's all.
Okay. We seem to be somewhat split then on this, if I take it. Given that Belvin is advocating currently for the week. Okay. So Bryce is advocating for keeping the assigned tasks just generally updated on a frequent basis. Maybe like once every 2 weeks, there's a change over the assigned tasks showing they're doing something about it. Belwin is saying that maybe the staff meeting can count as a weekly update, namely in participating and talking in the Trello. Should we count that then? Just talking in the Trello and giving your thoughts?
I would consider a sufficient update for a member of the dev team to be me contacting them, maybe in DMs, and be like, hey, what you been up to? You still working? Yeah? Okay, cool. Good to know. You doing your thing? Just attaining information so that I know they haven't forgotten, and I know that they've been making progress.
Agreed.
I don't mean like them having to organize like a paragraph telling me the difficulties, anything like that. I don't want to be taking up a lot of their time.
Just, hey, you've been doing something. That's good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Not even like recording it or anything. Not even like logging it to check back on. Just being like, I testify that you know what I mean. Not being too bureaucratic about it.
Yeah. Okay, so in terms of it not only gives a progress report, but allows the opportunity for them to ask for help, do you think we should also use Belvin's format? This time, we're talking about the server staff here. To use Belvin's format of having a weekly update through Trello, specifically in the team update section of the Trello. Does that sound like a possible way to marry all of these ideas together?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I need to get on the Trello.
Yeah, yep. Speaking of getting on that Trello, I'm still wondering why some of the staff haven't gotten into the Trello. Oh yeah, right, because, how do I pronounce that, Andy? Iorbi? Iorbi. Iorbi.
What is Crocs?
So Crocs is currently in Japan, so that's why they're currently not in the Trello.
Oh.
He's on like every now and then on mobile because he doesn't have his PC on him.
So yeah, participating in Trello will probably be difficult for them. In that case, then, I believe everyone is in the Trello. That is a staff that should update it every single time we have this meeting, / afterward. So, do we count that then as general participation? And over time, if you don't do a weekly update in that section, that is cause for concern, wherein I can go, hey, is there a problem? Is there anything that you need? And we'll use Belvin's format in order to do a more comprehensive update. Are we agreed on that? Are there any objections to that? No objections?
Could you repeat that? I'm sorry, I was replying to somebody.
It's fine. So, update the Trello weekly. Doesn't have to be in these meetings, but just update the Trello generally weekly using Belvin's format as an update as a server staff. Repeated times of not updating is cause for concern. Let's say 4 of them, which counts as an entire month of not updating the Trello. I go over to them, I talk to them if they need help, and that cause for concern can grow over time to possibly indictments or please start working on this, all the way up until maybe even 2 months, we fire them. Otherwise, let's get some understanding. Is that a good way to do this?
Yeah, that sounds cool. That's fine.
Yeah.
It's not mandatory to do it on a clock, but as long as you do it frequently enough, you don't draw any attention to yourself. That's fine.
Okay, next one then. If we're generally all agreed on this, I'll just move on to the next item on the list. What should we do about the other Trello boards?
How many are there?
There's server weekly meetings. There's just Yuri server management. There's but there's also, apparently, if I remember correctly, one for events staff.
Okay, who made all of these and why?
Stephen made all of these as contingencies and basically backups in the event that we're not going to talk on Discord. Do we need all of these, or do you think the server weekly meetings is just enough in terms of Trello board tracking?
I think it's enough for us to communicate with each other directly. I don't think we need a huge Trello. I mean, this isn't exactly the most complex organization we're running. It's just a community server.
Yeah.
So, given that there are 5, should we delete 4?
Well, what do any of them do? Let's take a look at each of them in turn and determine if any of them are actually worthwhile.
Belwin, you seem to have more access than me in seeing all of them. Could you tell me what the other 4 are?
Okay, is anyone checking these regularly and communicating on them regularly, besides Stefan?
I'm overviewing them regularly to find out whether or not they're useful.
Okay. If anyone else in this voice chat right now looks at them regularly, say now. Okay.
Let me reword the question. A lot of these seem to be already covered by Discord channels.
Did I
then
say? Sorry,
Hmm?
keep talking. I'll talk in text.
Okay. So, the only one that I see that could possibly need a Trello board would have to be maybe the event management. Andy, do you think you need a Trello board in order to coordinate additional events?
No, because they're relatively simple right now. Just okay, I got an idea, gets approved, then we just put in server pins chat.
I see. If that's the case, then do you think you need the Trello board? We can delete the Trello board and you wouldn't really get a fuss over it?
I don't think I'm ever gonna use that, cause like Discord, it's just so much simpler just to have a text channel for it.
Oof.
Okay. How about the server suggestions Trello board? Would it be a wise idea to, instead of relying on the Discord format for doing approvals and disapprovals, we port those server suggestions over to a Trello so that we could have a little bit more organization? Do you think that the trouble of putting it into a Trello is worth it? Trello for server suggestions. Yes or no?
I think for server suggestions, it is sufficient for us to just have similar to the rules thing that we were talking about. I think we could have the rules place where people submit their suggestions for rules double as server suggestions in general, and then we don't need a Trello for that at all.
Okay. In terms of the server team hub, is there any objections to me personally saying that that's already covered by weekly meetings that we're having right now, as well as staff chat?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's covered by staff chat, honestly.
We're currently using weekly meetings. Are we fine with the weekly meetings as a Trello board?
Are attendance to these mandatory every week? Because there might be some weeks where I'm not
Not necessarily
available.
the physical meeting itself, but the ability to comment on the Trello board and to contribute over to the Trello board, mainly to get your opinion out there.
Could we just communicate in staff chat instead?
It's harder to keep track of who has what opinion, given that there are usually multiple different topics. The advantage of Trello is that you can segment the comments via their specific topic, and so when people talk about multiple different topics, it layers over each other in the Discord comments system. With Trello, everyone that wants to talk about a specific topic goes to that specific card and comments under it about that card. And then you're able to see quickly what everybody else's opinions are over in the staff. No, it doesn't bury everybody else. Yeah, and you can track action over on the item as well, like, we actualized this action. We actually did something with it. But for that reason, I advocate to keep the Trello board for the weekly meetings.
Alright, that's fine. I'm cool with that. It's got added functionality that we don't have here.
Oh yeah, definitely. You can see who is working on what. In fact, I should add that over into who's working on what. No worries, Jin. You can comment back over on the Trello and that should be sufficient. The final thing then to touch on is events. Or at the very least, the final thing that I put over on here, because nobody else added any additional topics, which I'm mildly disappointed in, but this is our first meeting. Let's add additional topics in the future. So, the topic that's over here is events. Their current lack of participation, the roles that are randomly added to people, and how to fix this. This is mainly in the wake of events not happening for the past week and a half. CPG's own complaints that they were randomly given a role, basically an event master role, given that they just asked for it, when maybe an event coordinator would have been best, in the sense that the event coordinator does all the actions while the person that suggested it only does suggestions, as well as a current lack of a centralized group of friends to continuously revitalize the events section. What are your thoughts currently on events? Do we need to do anything with them? Is there any need to improve the system at all? What are your thoughts?
I definitely... You go ahead.
Is this, which issue is this? Are we looking at the issue list on the reorganization?
I'm looking at the Trello board called Server Weekly Meetings, and I'm on the third to last section of the category called This Week, August the 3rd, 4:30 p.m. EST.
Alright, I'm grabbing it.
Bryce already posted it over at Staff Chat.
Oh, I can't even see it. How do I not have access to that?
Huh. Give me a few moments. Try this link acronym. You've been following through this with the Trello board? Actually,
Yeah.
wait. Hold on. Who here is even looking at the Trello board aside from me?
I'm just listening to you and then replying to the things that you say.
Okay, so note for whoever is going to be the next staff leader, Andy, you have to use the Trello board to keep track of exactly what to do next over the meetings.
Yeah, Andy. We love you.
My gosh, Andy. For fuck's sake, Andy.
I can't believe you aren't looking at the board, Andy. Didn't I teach you better?
No, you raised me wrong.
Should have known. Actually, given that events, what are your thoughts on the events, Andy? Do you think there needs to be a small change over to the events to improve participation, slash, the creation of them, slash, how people even join and become leaders in events? What are your thoughts on events?
I mean, currently the only way I can tell people, hey, I got an event, and they actually are bothered to look, is if I ping event participants. Because I don't want to ping everyone and just piss everyone off.
Oh yeah, that was an old problem back in the first month of just Yuri. Oh, that was fun.
I'm not exactly sure how I can advertise it properly. Maybe in announcements, but I don't know who actually checks that.
What is everyone's thoughts on that? Yeah.
How to advertise?
How to get participation in events.
Well, if people don't want to do something, they're just not gonna... So the only thing we can do is make sure they know they have the option.
Right, yeah.
Alongside that, I'd like to combine this over with general our general push for team building, in the sense that server staff and devs should regularly attempt to play games together. Whether that be a single person playing a game and then just streaming it for the hell of it, or there be multiplayer matches.
I second that notion.
Yeah, I'm down with all that.
I mean, I already have Minecraft, League of Legends. I'm planning to try Brawlhalla.
Have I shown any of you Formicide?
I have not.
Okay, imagine Team Fortress 2, but two-dimensional, and you're playing as ants instead of people.
Wait,
And it's free. It's really cool.
I'm down for that.
Could you send a download link over in Snapchat?
It's on Steam, but yeah, I'll just type the name.
Okay. And you said it's like Fortnite, but with ants, or am I?
No, Team Fortress.
Oh, Team Fortress with ants.
Yeah.
Wait, isn't Team Fortress free now too?
Yes, it is free now.
I guess I'll consider going for that. Personally, I'm more of either a medic guy or a heavy guy. Like, in terms of what I usually like to do.
There is a medic in Formicide, but it works a little differently. They combined the soldier and the medic into one class.
That doesn't make any sense.
Think of the assault class from Battlefield.
Oh, sweet.
Have you played Battlefield?
Oh,
Hello?
I have not.
Okay, well, here's how it works. You're just like a soldier, however, you have a little thing that you can drop on the ground, and if you or your teammates are near it, they'll heal health accelerated.
Okay, I think I get it. I'll get the general rules once I download it, but we can talk about that
Yeah,
once
later.
we have a small event of our own. Yeah. If that's the way that we're fixing the events, I suppose we can close that portion and go over into the second to last item. Gossips, rumors, or things that you think might be lies. So, have you heard of stuff going over on the server? Like, people talking like, oh, the fucking staff is dead, or, oh, the channels are way too obfuscated, or, oh, Kronos is in an affair, or something like that. I don't know.
I haven't heard shit, honestly. I mostly check in on the other Just Yuri server to advertise this one and bring people over here. But other than that, I check in on our channel to just make sure everything's Gucci. When I'm not being bothered by anyone, I check in on my own, and so far all I see is just I see people having a good time. I don't see any weird nonsense most of the time. We got a chill place with people talking regularly every day, and it's pretty cool. I don't see anything wrong with it right now.
Anybody else? Even little things like, oh, it's a place where people are so toxic in void chat, or, oh, there are too many suicidal people over in vent.
We're just
Stuff
Yuri.
like
We're just Yuri. You can't avoid that.
I know, but in terms of at least those rumors, I'd like to know about them, and let everybody else know about those rumors.
Oh, well, I haven't heard anything like that. I'm just saying, if anyone did say that, we're just Yuri.
Okay. So, nothing else really?
No.
No,
Nothing.
Bryce, that's not a good idea. If that's the case, then we go on to the last item.
oh my god.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
And then we'll call out the Paul brothers.
No! Bring in KSI while you're at it. Just bring in KSI. Bring in the Paul brothers.
Oh, I don't know if
Bring
I
in
could
the
beat
Dead Girl
him.
From the Suicide Forest, just have them over at the corners of the ring. wear boxing gloves.
Dude, Sayori wants to talk to you, Jake. I'm gonna kick your ass on behalf of Sayori.
And just each team of the Dokis has to choose one of the Paul brothers or KSI or oh my god.
I'd say Logan Paul. Yeah, he would be he would correspond to Monica. Jake would correspond to Sayori. I don't know about anyone else.
Are you saying that one of their careers was hung by the other?
No, I'm saying I associate Logan Paul with manipulating people, and I associate Jake Paul with people hanging themselves.
Oof.
Yeah.
Indeed. If that's the case, I think we've already transitioned to meme quorum time, so at the very bottom card is called Team Bravo, so this is the part where I'm supposed to clap. I think that's what it also says over in the script to my left, even though it's currently synced over to Wednesday rather than Friday, but overall, thank you very much for this 1 hour meeting. Thankfully, we precisely reached 1 hour. I'd like to thank everyone, and have a good day. If you'd like to stay over for the meme quorum, go ahead and stay.
Should I keep recording?